Dear students, today we will learn about sparse matrices. We have just reviewed sparse matrices in few classes before. So we will learn today. We'll learn more about sparse matrices. How do we represent them in computer system? Okay. We know that what is sparse matrix? It's a two-dimensional array having the value of majority elements as null. Majority of elements are null in the case of a sparse matrix. Storing null elements is a wastage of memory. See, when we are storing, we need to store only the elements which have significant value, which has a value. All of the elements which are zero are all null values. We don't need to store them. So there should be some technique that must be devised to store these non-null elements. Okay, there are some well-known sparse matrices known as triangular matrices, diagonal matrices, and tridiagonal matrices. These are they. We are covering only symmetric sparse matrices. That is, in symmetric. Okay, it will be square matrix. In the case of triangular matrix, we have upper triangular and lower triangular. Upper again divided into upper left, upper right. Lower divided into lower left and lower right. And there are band matrices. That they are diagonal matrices, diagonal matrices, and alpha beta band matrices. See, these are the examples. Upper left, that means only elements in the upper left corner. Okay, upper left corner contains values. Here, in the case of upper right elements contains values. All others are null values. Similarly, lower left means the lower left element contains values. Lower right, the elements are in the lower right corner. In the case of diagonal matrices, there are elements only in the diagonal part. Upper right as well as upper left are null elements. Okay, diagonal elements can be forward diagonal or backward diagonal. Okay. Then tridiagonal means there are three diagonals. Along with the main diagonal, there will be diagonal in the upper side as well as lower side. It can be either forward or backward. Okay, it can be forward diagonal like this or backward diagonal like this. Okay. Alpha beta band means non-null elements only at the alpha upper and beta lower diagonal matrices. Okay, this is same as similar to tridiagonal. And this is similar to tridiagonal. In the case of tridiagonal, there are three lines. In the case of alpha beta band, there will be alpha non-null elements at the upper side and beta non-null elements at the lower side. Okay. In the case of tridiagonal, it is exactly three. One alpha is one, beta is one. Clear? Okay. See here. See, if alpha is equal to 1, beta is equal to 2, what happens? This is our main diagonal, and alpha is equal to 1. There is alpha upper, that means there will be 1 here. One more non-null values here. Beta, there is 2. There will be 2 non-null values here. This is the alpha beta diagonal. Okay, so we have learned what is a sparse matrix. A matrix can be defined as a 2D array. An array with n columns and n rows represent an M×n matrix. There may be a situation in which the matrix contains more than 0 or null values than non-zero non-null values. Such matrices are known as sparse matrix. We can have zeros, that is non-significant values. But if the majority of them are non-significant, they are known as sparse matrix. In regular matrix, we can have a lot of zeros. But if the majority of them are zeros, then it will become a sparse matrix. Is it clear? If a matrix has, suppose you have a matrix with 3 columns and 3 rows, so altogether you have 12 values. So if 10 of them are null, we can say that it is a sparse matrix. But if 4 of them are null, we are not saying that it is a sparse matrix because there are more significant values. Here, a sparse matrix is a matrix which contains very few non-zero elements. Element is very few. When a sparse matrix is represented by a 2D array, we base lot of space to represent that matrix. Is that clear? A lot of elements are zeros. So why do we base memory to store these zeros? We need to store only the value which are significant. Okay. Consider 100 by 100 matrix that contain only 10 non-zero elements. See, 100 and 100 means how many space we require? 100 into 100. That means we need this much space to store all the elements. Upon this, only 10 values are non-zero. All others are zeros. So instead of storing 10, what we are storing? We are storing this much element, 10,000. Instead of storing 10, we are storing 10,000 elements. This is a big wastage of memory. This is clear. If it's an integer, what happens? This is the case in the case of a character. If it's an integer, we require 20,000 instead of 20. Okay. That's why we need a mechanism to store sparse matrices. So there are two types of mechanism. One is known as triplet notation and triplet notation in array as well as linked list representation. These two are which we are going to learn. We are going to learn these two representations. They are known as triplet representation. It can be stored using an array or it can be stored using a linked list. Okay, this is the notation. Look at the matrix. Listen carefully. This is our matrix. This is a matrix. Here, how many non-null values are there? This is a non-null value. This is a non-null value. This is again a value. This is also a value. This is a value. This is a value. All others are zeros. So we can classify this matrix as a sparse matrix. Is it clear? This is a sparse matrix. Now, how many rows we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 rows. How many columns we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, in the first thing we are writing number of rows 5, number of columns 6, number of values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number of values 6. Okay. Now we are representing only the elements which are significant. The next column is 0, 4, 9. That is 0th row, 4th column, the value is 9. See, 0th row, 4th row, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4th column, the value is 9. Remember, the index starts with 0, 0. Okay. That's why we have 0, 4 equal to 9. Next is 1, 1, 8. That is first row, first column. This is the 0th row. This is first row, second row, third row, fourth row. Next is 1, 1. This is first row, first column. This is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. Okay, first row, first column, the value is 8. Second row, the 0th column, the value is 4. Okay, third row, fifth column, the value is 5. Fourth row, which column? Second column, the value is 2. This is known as triplet notation. Clear? Look at the second one. Actually, these two representations are same. Here we have written like this: row, column, values. This can also be written like this: row, column, value. This is which is this notation. This two are same. In this we are writing in this form. In this we are writing in this. This is vertical and second one is horizontal. Okay. Look at this one. This is our 0th row, first row, second row, third row. This is first 0th column, first column, second column, third column, and fourth column. Where we have values. Here we have a value. 0th row, second column, the value is 3. 0th row, second column, the value is 3. Right? Written like this. Next one is first row, second column, the value is 5. First row, sorry, there is one more value. Here also we have a value. 0th row, fourth column, we have value 4. Okay. Next value is this. This is first row, second column. First row, second column, the value is 5. Next value is 7. That is first row, third column. First row, third column, the value is 7. Okay. Where is the value here? There is no value here. No need to write this. Its value is here. That means third row, first column. Third row, first column, the value is 2. Next is 6. That is third row, second column. Third row, second column, the value is 6. Okay. So these two are similar representation. What's the significant difference here? there is no header row here. In the earlier case, we have written number of rows, number of columns, and number of values. The number of rows are, there are 4 rows. We have 5 columns. Values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 values. This is known as a header row. Header. The header may or may not be there in sparse matrix. If header is there, it is easy for computation because we know how many elements are there. Okay, header is not a must. We can write a header or we can write a representation without a header. There's no problem in it. Okay, this is known as triplet representation. Is it clear? Triplet representation using array. Here we are representing this using an array. This is represented using an array. Okay. The same representation we can represent using a linked list. We have learned what a linked list is. So we are making the same representation using a linked list. Okay. The example is same. The first is 0, 2, 3. Here also you write 0, 2, 3. Okay. This is the 0th row. 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the same matrix. The first element is at the 0th row, second position. 0th row, second position, the value is 3. This is a row, this is column, this is value. Just like we represent the matrix, this is how we represent. We have a header node, that's known as start. Start. We can name it as start, head, etc. We can write whatever we want, but there should be a header node. This is compulsory, this must. Okay, this is a must thing in the case of a linked list. Otherwise, we won't be able to identify which is the first one, where we are ending, etc. So the second one is 0, 4, 4. That is 0th row, 4th column, the value is 4. 0th row, 4th column, the value is 4. Okay. What does it mean? First row, second column, the value is 5. First row, second column, the value is 5. Here, 1, 3, 7. First row, third column, the value is 7. First row, third column, the value is 7. Okay. 3, 1, 2. Third row, first column, value is 2. Third row, there's nothing in the second row. We don't need to write it. Third row, first column, the value is 2. Next is third row, second column, the value is 6. Third row, second column, the value is 6. And at the end, we write the null value. This is to terminate this linked list. Which type of linked list representation is this? This is a singly linked list. Singly linked list. Just revise the linked list which you have learned in previous classes. This is singly linked list. We have only single node, single arrow. Okay, it's only single arrow. Okay, at the end we have a null value too. The structure of a node is row, column, value, address of the next node. So this is how we create the linked list. We have row, which row, column, value, and pointer to the next row. This is the structure of this linked list. Okay. Now learn how to implement this sparse matrices. First is sparse matrix using arrays. Let me check whether this is visible to you. The present program. This is a program for sparse matrix using array. Program for sparse matrix representation using array. I will post this in your group. So if it is not very clear, don't do anything. I'll make it zoom as much as possible. I hope it's clear now. So we are starting with int main. Assume we have a sparse matrix like this. This is a sparse matrix. Okay, this is a format of the sparse matrix. But actually we are reading as sparse matrix 2020. See, this is a comment. This much is a comment. This is for you to identify this how a sparse matrix looks like. Now we are reading a 2020 sparse matrix. That means we can accept 20 into 20, 400 elements. Enter the size of the sparse matrix. We are reading the size. This is a matrix, so we are reading M and N. Okay. Now enter the elements of the matrix. Here you should input more zeros than the elements. What will happen if you are inputting more numbers? There won't be any significance. We are storing row value, column value, and the value itself. So it will be bigger than the original representation. So if you have more number of zeros, you can use this type of representation, triplet representation. Now using a for loop, what we are doing, using a for loop, we are reading all the elements. Scanf, percentage, and sparse matrix ij. We are reading all the elements. Okay. Now the next step is what we are doing. We have to identify how many elements are there. In the case of a sparse matrix, we will have only smaller number of elements. Now smaller number of non-zero elements. Majority of the elements will be zero. Okay. We have to count how many elements are not zero. That's what we are doing. We are using a for loop. If sparse matrix ij is not equal to zero, that is, if it is zero, we don't have to do anything. If it is not zero, we have to count it. That is, we have to identify how many elements are not zero. So at the end of this loop, we will know how our size contains number of elements in this sparse matrix. Okay. Now we are creating a sparse matrix, compact matrix. The name of the sparse matrix is compact matrix. The size is 3 size. What is this 3? 3 stands for, this is a triplet representation. This is a triplet representation. Okay, I can't go here. No problem. This is a triplet representation. That's why this is 3 here. Triplet. That is, we need only row, column, and value. So the first size is always 3. The second depends upon the number of non-zero values. Okay, that's why listen carefully. This will be 3 comma size. What is size stands for? Size is the number of non-zero elements in our sparse matrix. This 3 is always 3 because this is the triplet representation. Triplet means we need to store the row, we need to store the column and the value. Only 3. Okay, row value, column value, and the value itself. So the first array index is always 3. The second is size. That is, if the number of non-zero elements is 3, it will be 3 by 3. If the number of elements is 4, it will be 3 by 4. If the number of elements is 6, it will be 3 by 6. Okay. The newly created matrix representation has 3 into size dimension, where size is the number of non-zero elements, and the matrix contains non-zero elements and their indexes. Okay. The k equal to 0, for I equal to 0, I less than m, I plus plus, I j equal to 0, j less than m, j plus plus. If sparse matrix ij not equal to 0, what do you have to do? If the element is not 0, we have to store the I value, that is row value, column value, and the value itself. This is what we are doing. We have to store the I, that is the row index, then j, the column index, then the value. Is it clear? Row value, column value, and the value itself. We are copying that into our sparse matrix. You can do this for all elements. That's all. We have read the matrix. We have created this compact matrix and just printing the compact matrix. Okay. This is the result. We are printing the compact matrix and we are printing the result also. Okay. Complete this program and post me the output in your group itself. Okay. I'll show you the program for linked list representation also. Share the new one. Okay, this is a linear representation. We make it bigger. Yellow sides. In the case of a linked list, what you have to do first? You have to create the structure of the node. How many things we need? We need the row position, we need the column position, we need the value, and we need the struct node next. Struct node, this is the name of the node, and struct node next for the next pointer. Three values: row, column, and value. This is how we create the structure of a node in the node to store a sparse matrix. A linked list node to store a sparse matrix. We need only three values: row value, column value, node, and the pointer to the next one. Okay. We start with main. In the main, this is a sparse matrix. This is a command. This is how a sparse matrix looks like. We are starting with an empty list. Struct node start equal to null. What does it mean? The ending, there is nothing. The start is null. There's no node, only one pointer start. It is null. Okay. Now using the loop. Using a for loop, what you are doing? If sparse matrix ij is not equal to 0, if the element is not 0, the first part is similar to the one which you have already learned. Just read the sparse matrices. If the sparse matrix is not 0, what you have to do? Create a new node at the starting position. Sparse matrix ij. What are the values we need? We need the value, row value, and column value. Okay. Now see what happens in the create node. We are creating a new node. Create a new node. This is struct node. Temp r, temp equal to start. If temp is equal to null, we create a temporary node. Store the non-zero element, row position, column position, and next value. Otherwise, what you have to do? See, if you have a list, if it is a singly linked, we are going to create a single list. This is the same program which you have learned for creating a linked list. Okay, same program. The difference is only in the number of elements in the structure. In the case of the single linked list which you have learned, we have stored only one element. Here we need to store three elements: I value, j value, as well as the value of this sparse. That's the only difference. Initial case, we create a node and store the elements. Otherwise, we have to traverse. Otherwise, what you have to do? You have to traverse, get at the end, and then store the new element. Okay. I'll do one thing. I will rewrite the same program using the function which you have already learned. Okay, so it will be easy for you. And finally, we print the list. This is what we're doing in the main. Create a new node and then print the list. And the list from start to end. Okay, that's enough for today. We have learned about a linked list. We have learned about a sparse matrix. Why do we need a sparse matrix? What are the different types of sparse matrix? Triplet notation in array as well as linked list notation. Okay, here the class. Write the notes also, complete the program also, and then post the output in the WhatsApp group itself. Thank you.